Hello, 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 Katie. How are you? I see you. I just missed you this morning. I was watching you doing your Zentangle at the very end, and then I went back and I watched for your and saw your cherry blossoms, and your cherry blossoms looked the bomb. I want to say they looked awesome, awesome, awesome. I want to practice my cherry blossoms. I mean, the thing is, I have to remind myself too that if it's the first time I've done something, it's not going to be perfect, right? Yeah, but in the end, it looked really good. But that's the thing, and you have to learn your paints. And oh, I just found my earbuds. Oh, that was strange little thing. Um, the thing is, I often do that too, and I don't give myself credit for what I'm doing. So this is one of the things I'm going to practice today is I'm not worried about what it looks like. I'm worried about how it feels doing it. Because a lot of art is intuitive. And what that means is how do you feel about it? How does it feel with the paint going on? Do you like the paint going on? That kind of stuff, right? John was asking me where you were. My painting muse. This was the thing. I caught you right at the very end, and it was terrible. I was so, and I knew this morning I had to check my iPad as soon as I woke up because you went on. I want to say it was 6 a.m. my time. I had just gotten up and I got carried away doing something, and it was not good. So yeah, that was the thing. But I went back and I reviewed it, and I was like, oh, this looks so good. Looks so good. So I'm gonna get a few things done. I like how you started with the proper size of cards too. I'm gonna do that today. I'm just gonna work in miniature and work on the cards like you were doing. It was really good. So I cut a bunch of my paper. I just buy the bigger paper and then cut it down to size. And um I think I would like to do some rocks and I would like to do some abstracty things and maybe I will try a flower as well. Cause I really want to do a flower. How many petals was your cherry blossoms? I gotta figure that out. Cause there's dark pink and then a lighter pink, right? And then yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna also restrict my brush. I'm just gonna use this brush. This is like a dragon brush or whatever they want to call it. Is this a dragon brush? Yeah. Oh, wait, wait. Find my dragon brush. No, here it is. That's awfully big though. I don't know. We're just gonna run with things. I'm gonna restrict my brushes and I'm gonna restrict my colors. Cause why not, right? Five. Okay, got it. Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, five. And I'm gonna try the way you did it. I saw you did the dots, and I'm going to try. Let me see. We're gonna use these two brushes. Is that bright enough? Let me know if you can see what's happening here. Because when I went to set up this morning, all of my settings were gone. I had to reset up for some weird reason. I don't understand. It's okay. But my neighbor called and said, come for a walk with me. So I was like, okay. So, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do a warm up actually. Before I work on these cards, I'm gonna do a warm up. And that's something I never do either. And according to somebody on YouTube, you need to do a warm up. And that means you just do circles and you just do leaves and you just do strokes and you loosen up your hands, apparently. That's the thing. Yeah, walking's good. I do too little of it. I tell you what. Okay, so we're gonna use the cherry blossom shirataki. Uh, and a brighter pinky red. I want to say. Let's look at our swatching, right? Okay. So of the Kuretake, see these, the beginning reds? Well, rose. Rose is a really deep. So let's see. So we know this is the cherry blossom, which is down here, right? So we're going to do cherry blossom, and this is rose deep. Or we can go carmine. Something is telling me carmine. Like in the palette, they look red and orange. It's not a thing. That's not what it is. This is carmine. So we're going to do carmine and that, and then we're going to pick a green, right? And let's look at our greens here. What green is good for cherry blossom? Maybe sap green. I think that's a nice green. Do you want sap green or do we want sap green deep? I think those two are the ones that would work the best. So sap green and then sap green deep. Let's see. Okay, so this is sap green light. Oh, that's that one. I don't think I want to go that light. Sap green and sap green deep. We'll use both of them, right? There. And I'm also thinking that I may want to just do a quick fixed focus on my camera so that it's not going in and out. Let's just see here. Okay, hang on. Somebody just messaged, my neighbor just messaged me. She trimmed her tree and wants to know what it looks like. There. I'm going to tell her it looks great because it does. She's a florist. She knows how to trim trees. Okay, we're fixing the focus. That's right. Focus, Lisa. Focus, focus, focus. Where's my mouse? Here's my mouse. There we are. So we're going to take it off of autofocus. We're going to zoom it in just so that I can see because I'm blind as a bat. And there. Good. And let's zoom it out. There we go. Thank you for your patience there, Katie. I appreciate that. There we go. I know, right? Okay, so these are the colors we're dealing with. This is the one thing I'm trying to practice is taking my colors out and not fussing with them. So these are the colors we're going to be using. So these are the colors I want to warm up with too. So I'm going to give them a quick spritz. Just so I don't have to worry about that. Where's my brushes? Here they are. These are the brushes I'm using. That's it. That's all. Thank you. And then do I have, yes, I have my ugly rag. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of this because I need to get this purple off of here too. And I'm just going to do some circles and I'm just going to warm up my hands. And this isn't supposed to look like anything. Oh my gosh, that's such a gorgeous color, right? And then I'm going to do a bigger circle. I'm just going to use up the paint on my brush. And apparently doing this lets your wrist loosen up and lets you be able to do stuff. So how was your day there, Katie? And I can get to talk. How was your day? How'd the kids? I didn't get the update because I wasn't on your stream. Give me all the deets. There we go. There we go. I know, right? I love this color. Some people bought this set just for this color. And I'm just gonna do circles and just whatever. Just get myself going. And then I'm gonna take some of this beautiful color and why not? Let's just daub. See how it's gonna flow for us. Give me all the dates, Eric. Katie. Kids are great, daughter. Yay. So upsetting, hey? I'm so glad she's home and everything is good and she's no longer on her terrible, terrible holiday. And for a mom, that's just awful. Not being able to do anything. Oh, ugh. Okay, we're still gonna use this, and then I gotta use my whatever this is called. Dagger? No. Is it dagger? I don't know. Okay, see, we gotta practice getting our flow going here. If I go this way, go this way. Okay. Oh, it's terrible, right? And when is when's your son's going to Canada, yes? Oh, see, that was my first go. I did my paintbrush and my coffee. There you go. First time, not last time. As long as I don't drink my water. I paint water. Okay, so now we're gonna go and we're gonna do this. Oh, these colors just gorgeous. I love these colors. One here. I understand actually now why this is a thing. Alright. And then, okay, I'm going to take my other brush. I need to press my other brush. This is the dagger, whatever. They're both off to Canada Wednesday. Today. Is that today? Today's Wednesday. Okay, so this is how we can do it really thin. Also need more water. Okay, I had this brush down pat. Oh, see, there we go. There we go. Okay, I like that. How did I do that? I did that like that. Okay, I gotta remember how I did that. Oh, it feels good. See, there you go. I knew this one was not feeling right, and I knew this one, once I got it right, ooh, that feels nice. I don't care what this page looks like, it just feels nice. Next week. Okay, I was gonna say they're late. Are they late? Okay, so then I need to practice. Do I have something that's a pointy enough end? I am terrible with the lines. Okay, I need to practice my lines. So this is part of the getting the flow going. See, not enough water, right? Okay. Okay, next Wednesday, and they're gone for a week. Is it a week? And they're down in Toronto area. I think I recall you saying. That's about as thin as I can get it, actually. Okay, good. All right, so then let's see if we can get more water in here. Oh, okay, that's not so. It's about having a really, really light touch, I think. Okay. So now I'm going to practice. Okay, we're going to take. See, somebody did a technique with the flowers that I thought was really interesting. So what they did was they picked up some of their main color, and then let me put more water in here. There we go. Okay, so let's see. I've got pink on there, and then I'm going to go in and get some of this. Now let's see if I can do what they did. Got to get my brush right. All right, let's get pink and then red. And I go, once I get the technique right, that's kind of cool. Okay, got it. Got it. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of cool. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now, how did they do this? There was something I saw. I just have to figure out how do I hold my brush? Okay, I think this is how I hold it. Let me just see. If I put pink on here, and then I put this on here, and then let's see. It's close, but not it. Close, but not it. Thinking. Oh, wait, I think I might know how they do it. Okay, hang on. I'm not going to worry about my... What? I'm going to turn this over because I can wipe this off. Okay, so let's try this again. First, let's get this nice and wet. There we go. Bom, bom, bom. Okay, see how this feels. All right, so there's that. Here's my little mister. I was like, where'd my mister go? There we go. There we go. Okay, so hang on. Let's figure this out. So we get this pinky color, and then we get this, and I know it's mixing in. That's okay. It's okay. Oh, oh, that's a thing right there. Okay, let's see. That's a thing. That is a thing. It's happening. Oops, can't see. Okay. So we have dark color on this part of the brush, and we have the lighter color on this edge of the brush, and then we hold it this way and we go swoosh, 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 right? So there's a lot of paint on there. So you end up with the tip. See, it's kind of shiny. The tip has some of the red, and the other part has the pink, right? So let's just see what the brush does. This is part of the thing is learning what the brush does. So we've got that. I'm gonna take a little bit off of the tip. And then I'm gonna take, oh, see, that's way more, right? And then we're going to try swish, 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 swish. Oh, see, I don't want to go swoosh down, right? So I go swish, 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 swish up. All right, all right. Something is happening. Something is actually happening. All right. See, this is why I'm not doing my real thing yet. So this actually felt different when I was doing it. So let's see how much paint I have on my brush. This is not 1, 2, 3, up. Okay, let's try it again. I'm just going to use up all my paint. So I go down or press, up, 2, 3, up. Okay, so let's go a little bit faster. Up, 2, 3. Oh, I went back down. Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're going to load proper paint on the brush again. Wow, okay, so there we are. We're going to put the pink on, right? And then we're going to put some of the red on. Oops. Like that. And we're going, ooh, that's interesting. So I don't want 2, 3. That's interesting. So if I started, now here's a question. If I started at the top, see, that drags all the color from the tip, right? And that's not what we want. Again, it drags the color from the tip. Then, I don't know if it's because I have no more on there or what. Okay. So then you can do it a different way. Let's try it the different way. You can do it with the one brush, or we'll do the center. Let's just mix this. There we go. That's good. You can do the center, and you go a daub and a daub. 3. Is this what you were doing? 4. And oh, this is going to be a 6-petal one. That's too many petals. Is this the way you were doing it? Okay, and then take the brush and really make it full of water. And then have it spill in, right? My paintbrush is not clean. Okay, let's try to get it clean. Okay, and then so I'm gonna do majority of my water right there, and then I'm gonna touch it. Touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. There. It worked really well when you did it, Katie. It really did. Okay, so that's not with enough water. I think it worked really well. Okay, and now I'm fussing too much with it. Okay, let's try over here. I'm just loosening up. This is really working well to loosen up, and I don't have any expectations, so that works really well, I want to say. Okay, so there's my puddle of water, and now I'm going to go push, push, push. Push. It's so satisfying when it does that. Push, push. Yeah. Okay, so I'm learning what this is all doing. And I've done all this before, but you know what? My wrist was really tight and it wasn't happy. So now I'm gonna clean off my brush. There we go. And then I'm gonna get started. I like to make noises when I do things. There we go. All right, there we go. Yeah, it's amazing. My fingers are really loose now. Everything is happening really well. I'm remembering what my brushes do. Yeah, all the things. Yeah, it's really good. And you know what? I really don't care what it looks like because it's done. Oh, how satisfying is that, right? Okay. So one thing I do want to do is I want to do an abstracty little thing, right? and I want to use these colors. So I'm going to use an actual bigger brush. I would think that this would be too big, but because it's going to be abstracting, I'm going to use the bigger brush. And this is going to be primarily the doodle things, right? So I'm going to take this beautiful, beautiful red. And we're just going to do that. And then we're going to do one that's really, when it dries, it'll be a little bit less. And we're going to do one down here. There we go. And this is going to be mainly our doodle. That. And it's going to be so nice and bright, right? And then we're going to use our green. And here we go with the stem. This is the hardest part for me. Okay. We're going to do a stem. And so I need to figure out the proximity of my stem. It's going to be tall, up, straight up, or it's going to be down here. So I have to figure out where is it more comfortable for me. And then I'm just going to let this bleed in here. And let it just move around. Do its thing. Do your thing. Do your thing, paint. You can do it. Okay. And then this one, I think this is the other thing. Now that my hand's a little bit looser, and let's just connect the dots. Right? And I'm not judging how it looks because you know what? It's going to look how it's going to look in the end, but I like the smoothness of those lines, and they're not particularly anything. And then we're going to do some leaves. And then I'm going to outline all these in marker. There we go. And I have to turn it because that just works better for me. See, and because I warmed up my hand, these leaves come out way better. And I'm going to do this like that and give it a little bit more smushy smush. And the black is going to be what does the finishing touches. Just do a little bit of, there we go. And then that way these can dry while I'm doing my rocks. And after it's dry, I will do the splatter, the pen, all the things. So I've gotten a lot of, I did a lot of trading the other day for my cards. Oh, and do you want to see some of my cards, Katie? Oh my gosh, quite excited. And because you saw some of my big full sized ones. So here's some, and I got little plastic things, so I'll try not to make it shine. But there's my little bumblebees. And these, you were creating these kinds of things on your stream today. Oh gosh. Karen, how are you? How are you? And then the rocks, you remember that, Katie? How you doing, Karen? Good to see ya. So these are some of my cards. And remember you saw these ones in the big version? Pretty sure you did. And then our little blobs for birds. And so these are just the blobs, and I'm going to use this paint to make rocks today. Not like this, but actual like proper rocks. I'm going to practice. How you doing, Karen? How is your day? I'm doing well. My day only just started though. And so I was doing some practice go and I made some little flowers. We're going to let those dry and we're going to be really patient, patient, patient. Katie's doing some cards now too. And she cut up her cards so that they're the proper size already. So I'm going to try doing that too. And right now I want to try to make like a tower of rocks. And I already did some warm up. So I'm happy about that. And I just want to like give myself, you're crafting? Yay. I know the birds are just so sweet, right? So I need, okay, so we're gonna have like a stack of rocks, but we're not gonna have them like the beautiful Zen where it's all in balance. I want to try to make some rocks that are not perfectly balanced, so they're just gonna be kind of sitting on top of each other. Maybe one's gonna be kind of on end, right? And then this one will be just precariously. Oh, it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. And then this one will be here. And then this will be our base. And then maybe we'll put a little sunshine right here. Why not, right? Maybe it'll be a golden, shiny, glittery, beautiful sun, right? Okay, so here's my outline. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my little eraser and I need to keep the line so I can see them, but I don't want them to show through. So I just do this, I just tap it and then it barely shows up. Okay, and then my sun, right? So you can hardly see those. I have something, I don't know if I have something on my monitor or on. John! Hey, John, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. How's it going? How is it going for you on this fine, fine day? It's nice and sunny and much, much cooler today. Is my neck of the woods. So what we're gonna do, what we're trying to do here, John, is we're trying to make a stack of rocks. And we're gonna see how well it goes. Hello. I agree, John. I agree. Okay, so these are our colors that look like nothing. They look all black, but they're not. They have different, um, it's sort of granulating and it's sort of graphite colors, but it ends up I only need to use the one color. It's really awesome. I really enjoy it. You're doing all right? It's humid. We got rid of some of our humidity, thank goodness. We were sitting around 39 degrees with the humidity as of yesterday, and it was a nightmare. It was just terrible. Okay, so I'm not going to clean up my water because I want you to be able to actually see the color, the water on the paper. And I want to be able to see it as well. So this one, I think we're going to do the greenish black is what they call it. Greenish black. I didn't. Oh, Katie, come on now. These are going to be doodle flowers. Yours were, we all have our own flowers. Let's just say that. And right now, this is my speed right now. Okay, so this is the green, and watch it do its beautiful thing. Okay, so I'm gonna start at the edge here, and you don't need very much, right? So I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and I have to let myself get past the ugly stage. So you will see the ugly stage. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be terrible. Butterflies. Actually, I was gonna do the same thing. I was going to do butterflies as well. I need to do butterflies. Okay, so what the main focus is going to be outlining the rock first, right? Yes, I saw somebody was talking about how they do butterflies and it's getting the proportions right. But again, I have discovered stylized everything, which means it doesn't have to be perfect and then it looks fantastic. So, and then you say you did that on purpose and then it's fantastic. I just enjoy that. Perfection is the enemy of progress and I am just running with that. Okay, so this is our kind of greenish black. So you can see how it doesn't streak or anything. It's fantastic. I really enjoy it. So let's go with the yellowish. They call it yellowish. Transformation, exactly. Okay, so now, and I think I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit so you can actually see what is going on here. There we go. Hopefully that's okay. Okay, so we're gonna go along this edge, and because I put the water in there, the paint's not gonna go where the water is not. And it's so dark on this edge. It's fantastic. And then it granulates beautifully. I'm not gonna use salt on it though, I don't think. But I might change my mind. I don't know. But I just want to do some nice rocks with some nice texture on it. And my challenge is getting the shadows right. Okay, so there we go. And I'm trying to do them just on the cards themselves and not do like I did with some of these cards are cut from a larger piece. Oop, got zoomed in. Yes, so some of these are cut from a larger piece. And I'd like to do like what Katie did and do it on just a card itself. On purpose? I can. Okay, so my first challenge here is just to get my rocks um, blocked in, right? And but I don't want the colors to mesh together, so I'm gonna have to be really careful. I might end up having to skip a rock. Pull up some of this water. Yeah, I'm gonna skip a rock because I don't want the colors to bleed. This is the one time I do not want that to happen. So I'm gonna actually take off this water. There. Bob's your uncle, right? There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this top next rock. And that way I can show that I have learned a thing or two and I am patient. I'm going to let that other paint dry. Go figure, right? That's a novelty. John. John's bringing the jokes. Okay, let's try, and you'll be able to see. Let's try this red one. Yellow, red, right? And you see, you don't need much paint at all. I'm not misting this palette. And then we'll see how dark it comes. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's so dark. And it's this beautiful shade of red. Rusty kind of red. Okay, so, and just make it lighter at the bottom. And we'll see how much it looks like rocks, right? Exactly. What's the point? What is the patience you talk about? Oh, well, it's this secret recipe handed down from generations. And if we want to listen, we listen. And if we don't, you know, we actually end up taking twice as long to do half the work. Okay, so I'm going to just get a little bit, let me, this patience. What is this patience you speak of? Exactly. Okay, so I want to make sure it's nice and dark. And with the Kuretake, and these, I believe these are not the actual graphite Kuretakes, but they do the same thing. Do the same thing. And I just want to make sure the color comes down, and then it'll blend well. So do I have anything here? Okay, I'm gonna have to wait a minute. I'm gonna have to be patient because I have the top rock and then I have the second rock, and the ones in between are still wet. See, look at this is dry already, and you can see that's a yellow base and that's like a green base, and we're already getting a little bit of texture. And yes, this is still a little bit wet. So I am going to put just a couple of bits of salt on there for this particular rock. And then I'm going to do the sun because, hey, why not? We're waiting, right? So which sun do we want? Do we want I think we need more of a muted sun because these colors are going to be kind of muted. So we're going to take the Starry Night, which I am in love with as well because it sparkles and it dances and it makes me happy. It makes my soul sing. So our sun is right here. So let's just do this. And then we're going to take a decent amount. I should really clean my water. Which one should we? We want this one. This is champagne gold. See? I knew I was picking the right one. This one here. I'm zoomed in. Zoom. Okay. So I really want to use a decent amount of water. And then I'm going to go around it again in a bit of a darker gold. But I just want it to be nice and puddly. Puddly. What do you call that? Puddly? Puddly? It does, John. It does. It does definitely come to those who wait. Okay. Give me 2 secs so I can get some cleaner water. Okay. All right. I have clean water. I have coffee. I have a puppy at my legs, at my feet. Okay. So this little guy, he's gonna dry beautiful. Okay. Look at the texture we're getting here. Getting a little bit going on. I don't want too much. I don't want too much happening. I don't want it to pull a lot of the color off. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now I think this edge and this edge is good. So we are going to get on with this rock, which I'm going to do. I think we should try the bluish black. Oh, I know, right? He loves it. He has a bed in every room. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do the bluish black. We call it bluish black. And like I say, I haven't misted this palette. I am just using the tip of my brush because it's so zoomy. My goodness. There we go. Hopefully, if it's not focused in right, just tell me. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to pull the color down. Pull it down. Oh, digital. Lisa's focusing. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to pull a little bit off. I get so lazy, I just use my hand. These ones I'm not, but I'm going to do, I have this one here. Hey, Karen, you just reminded me. Oh my goodness. Really good idea. I'm going to do the background for this puppy. This background is going to be for the neurographic art. Oh, Karen, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Because we need patience for it to dry, right? Okay. And you know what? We're going to stay in the same palette. We're going to use these and we're going to have fun with these. Okay. So I'm going to start. Okay. You're drying. Rocks are drying. Flower is drying. And this little guy, let's zoom out a little bit. Zoom, zoom out. Zoom, zoom out. Zoom, zoom out. I know, right? I love this paint. I love this paint. And when it dries, it doesn't dry really transparent or anything. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of an abstracty thing, okay? So I'm going to take some brown and I'm going to do this here. And it's really thick, really crazy thick. And then let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens, guys. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to pull some paint here. And we're going right to the edge. We're going to live dangerously. We're going to go right to the edge. And I'm going to do like horizontal colors. Okay. Because let's just live dangerously. And we're going to go, let's go brown to green. Okay, so I'm going to put a dark, dark, dark color here. It's really laid on thick, right? And then I'm going to turn it around because I work better that way. And let's see, how's this feeling? Let's just pull, pull, pull. Let's pull. And let's pull this down. And let's just let the paint do whatever it wants to do. All right. And we're going to make sure this is really good and dry. Oh, Karen, thank you for reminding me. There we go. And then I'm going to actually start with water, but I'm not going to touch the other color yet. And then I'm going to go into the purple. That's what I got. Oh, Katie. Katie, I'm just trying so hard to let myself just be in the moment. I'm not, you know what? I don't care what this looks like. It's going to come out how it comes out. And I just want to understand what is happening. That's part of what the thing is. I'm just trying to understand what exactly is happening with these paints. See, I've got some now coming through, which I'm totally okay with. Because you know what this is reminding me of already? This is what it's reminding me of. It's reminding me of this. So we're going to get different colors going on, right? That's what it's reminding me of. Where's my other ones that have, where is it? Where is it? This kind of a thing, right? That's what it's reminding me of. So we're going to go with the flow here, right? See? See how we've got different colors going on here? That's what it's reminding me of. Art is therapy. It absolutely is therapy. So, okay, so we've got the purple, and that's how I treat it too. I treat it for my brain and my body. So, this is where I explore what my right hand can do and all of that jazz. So, let's see, what do we need? We need some red. We need this amazing red. And we're going to do this. And we're going to add water and just see what happens. Let's just. Whoa. Hello there, sunshine. Look at you. Look at you. All right. And I think we're gonna frame it up with the brown again, right? So let's get some brown, and then that way it keeps our eyes inside, right? We're not being drawn out of the picture, right? And this, I think the brown and the rusty red go really well together. I know my colors, yeah, the colors are not coming out great. Okay, so I'm not sure if we're still wet enough to create any texture. We're gonna see. Probably not. No, but that's, oh yes, we'll get some on the red. Get some on the red. Look at that. You can see something's happening. Something is happening. This is going to be a really nice neurographic one, Karen. It's still at ugly stage. It's still discovering who it is as a person, as an entity, as an art form. So we have to allow it room to breathe, and it will discover what it wants to be. There we go. Okay, so that one's that, and we're gonna do one more just for giggles. And this one, I want to do it a little bit more. What's the word? Spring. Spring is what I'm thinking. No, what I'm thinking. I'm thinking. No, I don't want that one. I want blue. Blue. Look at that, right? So let's just do it. Okay, I've got a little bit of that. Let's take that off. I don't want that. I want blue. I just want blue. Okay. So we need another. There we go. So now I'm going to do my blue. Ooh, look at that blue. Look at that blue. And I don't know. I've never used this one before. Let's just do it. Ooh, look at that color. See what it's gonna do. And then I want this powder puff blue color. Cause exactly. There. And now I can do some salt. And I'm going to just hold it down for a minute. See, I just gotta hold it down. Unzee. Wowza. Yes, just whatever. And I don't know what it's gonna look like. I have no idea what it's gonna look like, and that's okay. I try to do a little bit more realism, and I try to do a little bit abstract, because that's what I want to do. I'm not going to blow dry this because it will move the sand or the salt, and we don't want that. So let's just put our salt away. But I wanted to be able to create some abstracts that were created on the proper size for the trading cards, right? Let's see what's going on here. Oh, look at that fun little guy. Okay. So if you are going to be happy over here, there we go. You can just be happy right there. Let's see what we can do. Let's get our doodle on, shall we? We will get our doodle on. Let's doodle. The blue's nice, eh? I enjoyed those blues. Yep. Why not? Okay, so these are not, these don't, flowers don't exist in nature. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Okay, yeah, everything's dry. But you see, I don't know if you can see, it's got a little bit of a shine to it right there. It's not wet. That's the Kuretake. And you notice how the Kuretake paints don't go all soft and uh, like watercolory. Is that a word? Watercolory. They stay. So I can see some natural lines though on this. So I have to try and be sloppy and try really hard not to color in the lines, as they say. There, right? And then I'm going to do the same thing over here, and we're going to try really hard to go really outside. And then this one is, let's pretend they're all the same flower that actually occurs in nature. Like that, and like that. So then we have to do this down, and then we have to do really wonky leaves because we're practicing not being perfect. That, and then we do this, and we do that, and then we have to do some, not a 10, let's go a little smaller. Because now we have to add some whimsy, right? Well, it's already whimsical because they're sloppy. Sloppy equals whimsical, right? So we're going to put some little dots on our leaves. I am doodling with my affected side, Karen. Yeah. I am. I am. And we're going to put some white dots because white dots on dark colors is whimsical, apparently. There we go. And we're also going to add some a swirl. How about another swirl? We're going to add swirls because we can. And I'm going to try to do a reverse swirl. Right? I know, right? And then this is red and green, and I am going to put some. We're gonna glitter this up a little bit. Let's put this over here so we don't glitter where it's not supposed to be glittered. Okay, so I think this is pretty bright, so I think we want to go with a decent. They got a here's a red gold, so let's just go with what the experts say is appropriate. I'm guessing. There we go, and then we're gonna just do a little, a little bit of something, something. Splatter makes it done. Splatter makes it done. There we go. Katie did these fantastic cherry blossoms, and I was experimenting with her petals, and it was very cool. But I made red flowers that don't even exist. So that is going to be for someone on my little list, right? So now if we go back, we'll let that dry because we're showing patience. I'm modeling patience, right? Being a very good patience role model here. So there's our sun, and our sun is still a little bit wet. Let's take all this off. And we have one rock left right at the top here. One rock. Okay. So we did a green, a yellow, a blue, a red. Maybe we should just go red, green, blue. That's not red. Hello. That's yellow. No, that's green. That's yellow. That's blue. That's red. Let's go purple. No, let's go brown. Wow. Decisive. That's how my brain works sometimes. Okay, so we're gonna get water on this guy, and we shouldn't have to worry about it spreading. Okay, so what did we say? We said brown? I think I said brown. Okay, let's just do brown. Now let's pick up a little bit of this water. There we go. There we go. That's better. And this is a small rock. Let's try a smaller brush, shall we? Remember, this is on tiny paper too. Tiny paper. There we go. There we go. We're not going to spill into the red. There we go. I'm focusing. I'm focusing. Focus, focus. Okay, so there. And then I'm going to take off. Need to take off some of this pink. And I'm not worried about them really touching yet. Doodle with my toes. No, no, no. I'm not going to doodle with my toes. John, look at what we did with our flowers. Look what we did. We just doodled on them. And we just made them doodly and whimsical. And now we just finished the rock, and now we're waiting on these. So look at this. This is good. Look at that. That's going to be a great neurographic background. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Reminding me. And what has happened with our blue? Look at our blue. Ooh, look at that. Still wet. We're going to be patient. But look at that. That's going to be awesome. Okay, and these are our rocks, right? Okay, so I'm going to go back over this guy here, and we're now going to give it a little bit of texture and better shape to it. And we're just going to do that. I'm just going to do that with shading. So this was the greenish one, and I'm not going to use any other paints. I'm just going to use the same color. Same color, that's it. And I'm not making it wet first though. So I'm just going to go in and carry on the colors. Oh, thank you. Fancy. I enjoy that. Okay, so let's just make sure we're dipping into the right color here. Okay, and so the one thing I'm going to have to remember is how do the shadows lay. So this is part of the reason I put the sun there, so that I'm going to be able to sit there and say, okay, so the shadows are going to fall in line here, and the highlights are going to, they're going to have to just make sense. Because this is not abstracty, this is rocks, right? So we're going to try to make the rocks make sense. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to my brush is pretty much dry, and I'm going to just rub my dry brush across it so that I'm getting a little bit of texture here. right? And I really want this part. This is the beauty of this paint is you can create the hard edges or not. It just depends what you want to do. So if you use a good amount of water, it's so easy to create the hard edges. So here is where my shadow is going to be, but I still want to create more. Still want to create. So I do this on my. Probably not supposed to do that, but I do. See, I want to create a bit of. You know where they have breaks in the rocks and stuff, cracks and whatnot. That's what I want to be creating. So I'm starting to get a little bit of texture. So let's go up to, this is the yellow. I love the blue. I tell you what, it's probably my favorite. Let's go to this yellow, and now we can add some more here. And remembering where the shadow is going to be, the shadow is going to be built up here. So this rock is going to have to show shadow on this rock, right? So the shadow is not going to be here, it's going to be over here. So I want to just have, and I can see this lovely little line happening here. I'm going to use that line too and create one of those cracks and whatnot. And then I can have some of the highlights happening. And then I'm going to take a dry brush and just rub it on the paint and then create some texture here. So we're still in kind of ugly stage, but we can see it's got potential. Hey, Bone, how's it going? How's it going, Bone? Good to see you. I was telling Katie I just missed her stream. I came in the very end bit. And I was like, oh no. So I actually went back and I rewatched how she was making her um, cherry blossoms. And it was cool. She did a really good job. I enjoyed that. And then earlier I was showing how I'm trying to make sure that I do warm-ups with painting so that I can loosen up my fingers and everything. And it seems to be working well. So it's like when you're gonna do something athletic and you gotta stretch your muscles. Apparently, that's a thing for painting too. Who knew? Who knew? Okay, so I'm not really focused hard on the shadows yet. I'm just feeling my rocks here. Oh, that sounded terrible. Shh, shh, everybody. Shh, shh. I'm just trying to get a sense of what's happening with these stones. We'll call them stones so nobody gets rude. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit more on the blue. I really love that blue, Katie. I know, right? And like now is the point where you need hardly any paint. Hardly any paint. Oh, I got a bit of Cooper hair. Doggo's hair. There we go. Okay, so and look at I've got this little tiniest little natural line where the paint was. So I'm just gonna highlight that a little bit because that's gonna be another crack, I think. Oh, and I like this crack. There's a crack in the rock. I can see it. I can see it. And that's not the shadow either. Now this big rock is going to create a lot of shadow. So it's going to be very, very helpful. Yeah, John, I know. I heard it too. I heard it too. Shush. Shush, shush, shush. Okay, so we're going to go and dip into the red. I love how these colors, they look black in the palette. It's not just the camera. They do actually look black. So we're going to go up to the edge here. And we're just going to let it do its thing. It's really different working on the tiny cards. Hey, Katie? Holy man. On one level, I think it's easier because you're not looking at this great big huge picture or like paper that is going to take so much focus. So I take most of my water off. There. It's coming. I can see. I actually paint on my hands. I know. I know. It's terrible, but it just, I find it easy. And I don't know, I get a better sense of how much water is on my brush. And I can better control it, I think. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. Is that a thing? I don't know. Maybe it is. Okay, I need to go darker. Darker. Don't be so ginger. It's okay. Don't be so delicate. That's the one thing I struggle with is my shadows. I tend to be too delicate with the shadows, so it just doesn't pop out like it should. Oh, this guy's got some nice texture happening. I enjoy this texture. This poor rock's been around the block, I tell you what. I know, right? Okay, so this one is the brown, right? So let's get the brown happening up here. Again, I'm not going to be so darn delicate. Don't be so delicate. All right. And then again, we're going to have a decent amount of shadow at the base because we want it to feel like it's sitting on top of this, right? So we have to be patient and wait for it to dry. So this is the yellow brown or yellow black. So we're going to go back into here and we're going to do the shadow here. Because the other one is dry. So, and it's got to have, oh, and look at, I can see that we're getting a little bit of texture here. Oh, that would drive me bananas too. That would drive me bananas. My nails get that way too. You can see which nails I use the most, except this one I broke. But yeah, I try to have them usually they're quite plain, but my husband has that too. He's got a black spot on his nail and he hates it. Okay, and then let's get this guy here. So I'm just kind of working top to bottom. This is the green one. And then bottom to top. Oh, I need more. There we go. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, and this is my funky hand, Karen. Doing pretty good. Happy, happy. Gotta practice. And then I'm gonna take a little bit off. Funky, funky. There we go. And I tend to practice with the rocks because uh, it's mainly all shadow stuff. So I get to work my hands a little bit more. And if I'm tired, I will just do um, abstracts and stuff because it's not so finicky. What is this? Okay, this is the green one. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and this is, look at, it's got a really raggedy edge now. See, it's starting to come to life, guys. It's starting to come to life. Green. Okay, so here is where I can see the shadow business of the rock above it is starting to happen. I know, right? Yeah, this is the thing with this palette. It's a granulating or whatever you call it. I don't know. Uh, and it works that these are all kind of like graphite colors and they work together no matter what. So I find that is particularly helpful for me and the way, especially the way that my brain works now. And so I don't overthink it and it's extremely helpful. And the tones, like they're just earthy. Mm, I enjoy them a lot. They're earthy, warm, and calm colors. I just enjoy them a lot. Okay, let's not be so delicate here with this because we're doing the base. We need to have good foundation for these rocks. Stand tall, rocks, even though you're balancing precariously. Oh, let's make this a really hard bit of business. Maybe it was chipped, right? Maybe it was chipped. What kind of adventures did this rock go on? All of these rocks, and then they just end up on top of each other like this, just so beautifully balanced. They've been on adventures, I tell you what. Adventures. I can make up stories about the rocks and how they came to be sitting just so serenely on top of each other. Okay, so this is my guy. Yeah. So how's our blue doing? Our blue. Good. Let's scrape these off now. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so now we need to work on this blue guy. He needs to have a lot more help here on the base because it was just so uh it was too light. It's like cartoons that have, some of those cartoons that have, or comic books, I'm talking to, that have um a darker outline and it just kind of grounds them. That's kind of like this as well. Okay, so let's go a little bit darker. Come on, be brave. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Okay. So this guy here, you see, I was just being too cautious with this. So yeah, let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. There we go. And then we know that the shadow is going to come down here, right? Yeah. Or wish for something. I can't remember what. I know it's kind of like the Zen rocks, but these rocks are not all perfect in alignment. These are wonky rocks that have seen real life. They're not like the beautiful pristine rocks uh, that you see for like yoga and symbols of yoga and whatnot. These rocks have seen life, so they're not going to be quite so perfect. And they're going to be all balanced precariously, not kind of stacked on each other. But yeah, that's kind of the um, inspiration I was going with. And if there's no sun on this side, I have to remember to be brave about the colors. And the reality is, if I don't like this, guess what? Nobody's going to get it. It cost me about 12 cents in paper. maybe a nickel. And when I'm done, I'll have to do a real close-up shot of it. Let's see if I can zoom in there. Zoom, zoom. See how it's getting some texture happening? They're looking more like rocks, I think. Ancient practice with many spiritual meanings. They're symbols of stability, creativity, self-worth, strength, and fragility all at once. Katie. Wow. Alrighty. All the things all at once. All the things. So you can see how now it's starting to look. Um, should I do? Let me just see here. Come on, come on. Focus. There we go. So you can see it's starting to get texture. Yeah. There we go. So let's get back down here. Focus. Focus. And let's just get it closer so that I can focus it better. Sorry, guys. There we go. So, yeah, you can start to see some of the little fissures and things like this. Oh, Canuck is mostly the French. No, Canuck is not mostly the French Canadians. No, 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 no. Canuck is just Canadian. Canuck is just slang for Canadian. Any Canadian will do. And we even have a hockey team in the West Coast that is named Vancouver Canucks. Well, yeah, but Katie, you got to know where to look for it. Come on now. Okay, so I think I need to get this a little bit more dimension to it. See, what ends up happening is all of them need to be darker on the base. They just all do. And because that's where they're sitting, right? They're sitting on the ground. Katie coming in with the proper definitions for things. I'm just like, I think it's a yoga thing. It's something. It's a thing. So that's all I'm trying to figure out is the colors. How to say Canuck? Canuck. Like buck. Chuck. Canuck. Yeah, and that's just our slang way to say that we're from Canada. That's all. Okay, so I can see I need more shadow. So this is the beauty of this paint, is that I don't use any other paint except for the color um, that it was, right? And I just layered on top of each other. This was not the color. That was the wrong color, but it's shadow, so it can be fine. Don't stress. Yuck. Yep. Yuck. Like puck. Yeah. So Crazy Canuck is said a lot. Crazy Canuck. Oh, see, I really like how you're getting kind of these little edges. I like the edges that are showing that it's rough. And then you get these little lines, right? See? Can yuck? Yeah, without the Y. Yeah. Without the Y. Nuck. Yeah. It's like, what's his name? Chuck Norris? Yes, Chuck Norris. It's like that. Yeah. So my username basically was figured out by saying digital being like computer, Canuck being Canadian, and draws being straws. Yeah, that's it. Oh, look at this. Steady hand, Karen. I tell you what, that's because I rested well last night. Woot woot, woot woot. Sweet bomb. See, and so I'm trying to get the little lines happening here, and then I will. This is the green. This is the see. You can tell it's green, but yes, yes. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, so you can see how this is more of the shadow of the rock above it, right? So we don't want it too soft a line because shadows usually are harder. And then this, I didn't make the base nearly as dark enough. See, I always do that. I've seen people who can do their rocks in like one stroke. That's amazing to me. They just know how much paint to put on and on the brush to create this gradient type thing. That's not me, but that's okay. Oh, see? Crazy Canuck. Ah, he does tool reviews and such. Very good. Canuckistan. Yes, that's a thing. Yes. Did you see that pen jump or that brush jump? Yes, that's a thing. Okay. So yeah, we gotta be careful of the jumping brushes. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna create this darkness here. And I think I need a little bit more darkness around the edge. And this shadow, of course, from the rock above. There we go. Make it, these are smooth rocks, right? They've been eroded quite a bit, but they still have jagginess. It's like all of us in chat. We're smooth and jaggy all at the same time. We've lived a life. We need a little bit more darkness there. I'm hoping in September I can have a regular schedule, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday type thing. When schedules get back on. Hours and hours, right? Yes, I know, right? I actually just started this kind of stuff a couple of months ago. I You don't just all of a sudden become creative though. I've been creative my whole life. So I'm just cottoning on that I need to do it as well for, physical and mental health. I mean, that's creative people who don't create, uh, it messes them up. It messes them up. That's why creatives like to hang together and wear red hats and purple outfits. I discovered that poem, I Will Wear Purple. I think that's what it's called. When I was younger, and I didn't know how inspired that was, but it's about a woman who decides she's going to wear purple with a red hat and not worry about anybody and what they think about it. Okay, Cooper, the dog needs to go pee. Go, go, go pee. Thank you. There we go. Okay, the dog's going outside. That's good. Right, so let's be darker. Oh, you can see it's starting to come together, guys. I see rocks. I'm starting to see rocks. I want to get that poem printed out on something. Something. Well, creatives are creative. Oh, yes. Crazy is always fun though. We're um honest but sensitive and out there, but we want to conform. Oh, we're all the things, I tell you what. All the things. And we love doing art, but we criticize it like crazy. We want to create beautiful things, and we can appreciate all the beautiful things from everybody. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's starting to take form, guys. It's taking shape. My goodness. Okay, so these shadows I want to be a little bit softer than my cragglies here. Oh, creative people are the best people, I tell you what. They have all the emotions. Such a special bunch, Katie. You know, they are a special bunch. That's why we need to stick together. I liked it when John said that he doesn't blow smoke. I appreciate that because, you know, as we build our community, we just assume that everybody we like is going to say, well, of course I like your stuff. But no, 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 come on now. If we know what you've got in you, we will be honest. So I knew what you were talking about. Exactly, John. Exactly. Okay, so now let's look at shadows here. Hang on. Okay, so this is missing the shadow from the rock above, and this one needs darkness on the base. Right? I'll show you one of the rock pictures I did early on that really inspired me to work with these paints more. And oh my goodness, it was so good. Actually, there's two I did. I'll show you uh, that I take. Ooh, here we go. Take inspiration from. Here we go. Seems kind of fiddly, but I think it's coming. If exposition seems to fully understand your art, then it's not art. Exactly. It's called oh my goodness, what do they call that? PowerPoint. It's called a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so the blue needs its shadow. We just discovered it doesn't even have its shadow from above. So let's get the shadow on there. And the beauty with these paints is you'll use them your whole life and never finish them. There we go. And let's get more down here. Is you can all of a sudden you can start seeing the cracks. We want to see cracks. Cracks are well lived life. And I need a bit of I need a base in here. So I'm gonna, because I have no ground here. My rocks are just floating. Yes, but you know what I'm talking about, Karen? I'm actually talking about mine. Rocks that I did. I did. Inspired me. Amazingly. It was just fantastic. Okay. So I don't want this to be too dark. So what I do is I will take, because I'm only going to have like one little squish at this. So I'll just take another piece of paper and go, ooh, see, that's too dark, right? But look, it looks good in. Yep, that's right. That's right, John. Okay, so I want it to be, I need a little bit of, okay. Yeah, so I want it to be kind of like a gray color. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blue. Okay, so then I need to really, there. Okay, because the poor rocks, they're just kind of floating there. They need to be on something. So let's put them on the ground. And let's make it darker on this end. Oh, and don't tip your paintbrush in your coffee cup. It doesn't taste good. It's not happy. Okay, so let's get some of this off of here and off of here so that we can have just the shadow. There, that's good enough for now. Exactly. So here is, let me just show you. Here are two pieces that I did here on with these paints. One of the first ones I did. So it's the same kind of thing with the different colors. And then this one, I got inspiration from Pinterest. And I love how crickety crackety these are. And then we put, there's uh some of the neurographic art, Karen, but some fences and a swing. I saw this kind of thing on Pinterest and I just loved it. So I said, I'm going to recreate that. And I did. And it worked out really well. This rock is one of my favorites. I know, right? And that's just with these paints. And that's just with what I'm doing here. And to be honest, I'm being way more fiddly with these little rocks than I was with these rocks. I just whipped through these ones, and I'm being way too fiddly with these ones, but it's fun. And then these ones, so you can tell, like this was my very first one, and then I was like discovering the cricks and cracks and everything. And then this was my next one, so you could see how I said I need there to be this beautiful crack and life and edges. And, oh, yeah, and it's just kind of floating there. I know, right? So this is just a little bit, um, because it's smaller. I think for me, this is really, really good practice for me specifically, so that I can work with the detail, right, in a smaller form. And I think that's excellent practice for this hand. And I think it's cool. And I think if I wanted to, I could basically turn this into a whimsical something something by adding the doodles and whatnot. I can do basically whatever I like because I'm the boss of it. Oops, there we go. Because I'm the boss of it. So that's the thing. So those were mine based on what I saw on Pinterest. So those are the ones I take inspiration from. And I really love how this paint, you just get to massage this paint and work with this paint, and it's just so. Okay, all you creatives know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I know, right? I know. Okay, so Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, see, some of the shadows are still not dark enough, so I'm going to be really, really aggressive now. So that's what I did with my other ones, and I'm going, okay, what did I do with my other ones that I need to do with this one that will really make it do its thing? And I'm going to need to leave it to get bone dry. There we go. See, that's a proper shadow. Don't be frightened of the shadows. You can do it. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little bit of my smaller brush, and I'm going to add a little bit of a lighter, what did we did champagne, right? So I'm going to go just a little bit of a lighter gold here. Here, right there. Wah, wah. Third from the top, the one atop the blue, like it wouldn't balance there. It would not balance there, right? Maybe if I put a rock in between. I think you're right. No, I think you're right. I think that's part of what is hurting my brain is I'm saying, wait a minute, something is askew. Something's askew. John, you nailed it. John, you nailed it. Now, tell me, John, what color am I doing it though? Right? You know what colors I'm working with. Oh my gosh, Cooper's hair. There we go. No. Oh my gosh. My dog's hair. There we go. So tell me, John, what color do I need to do it? Because I agree with you. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of shiny around the sun because we can. So we're going to put, and again, I'm going to put a rock here. I know, but these all go together, so it's not a biggie. So we're going to put it right here. Right? We're going to put it right here. We're going to nestle it in here. Right? Okay, so now we're going to, that works though because, and you know what? I'm going to try something. I'm going to try just to be brave about adding the color. And I'm not going to be quite so precious about it. Right? So we're going with the green. We're going with the green, John. We're going to put the green right here. Nestle this rock right here so that it can balance. I totally agree with you, John. Okay, let's get some water happening here. And let's bring that paint down. Bring it down, bring it down. Let's see if we can get the effect I want without being quite so fiddly with it, right? All the colors go together though, so that works tremendously well. There we go. Okay, not quite so fiddly, right? Okay, we're going to be brave about this. We're not going to be so precious about it. We're going to get some on the bottom here. We're going to let it dry. Let it dry. Just let it dry. Patience, patience. And we're gonna put this right here, and it can just sit there and do its thing for a minute, right? Let's get this lovely precious one out so that our rocks get dry. I know I love that paint. I love that paint. Okay. So this is what's going to happen. Let's let our rocks sit there and do their thing and dry. And then we are going to do our lovely neurographic art, right? And we are just going to be brave about this too. We made our background and there we go. Maybe what do we want to do? Ooh, let's do that. Okay. Rocks are very settling. I enjoy rocks. Yes, they're very settling. Okay, let me have a drink of my coffee. Coffee. And let's get to rounding some corners, shall we? Look at that. Look at that texture. Ooh, I enjoy that, and I enjoy that. What else do I enjoy? I enjoy these. I really enjoy this changing colors. Oh, I enjoy all the things. Yeah. Okay, so I can put my water away so I don't drink my water for a second. I will drink my coffee and we'll round some corners. How about that? Okay, so the key here is we don't want any of these hard edges. And I usually just follow it around and create this circle. Right, it looks really sloppy. Probably. So I bet you it is. So I want, in this particular one, I want to have some thicker black lines, right? So I usually end up starting this way and ending with a thicker marker. So let's see if I should just do that right away. This was a 0.2. So let's go 0.3, perhaps. Because otherwise I just end up going over it. So usually what I do is I will sit there and do this while I'm watching TV. And I just go over it and over it and over it. And depending on how I'm feeling, I might make way more neurographic lines or I might not. Sometimes I'll do the neurographic lines first and then I will fill in the color, and sometimes I won't. So the focus is just getting the corners rounded. And they have done science about this. They've done science? No. There is science behind this that says this activity allows you to focus and calm down. It's fantastic for pain management. It's fantastic for anxiety. It's good for all the things. And it's probably because there is no right answer about this. You have a goal, and that is just to round the corners. That's it. And you're achieving that with every single rounded corner, and it feels lovely. It feels lovely. I can sit there and watch somebody do this and even feel chilled out. So, and sometimes I'll find that in certain pieces I will actually, let me see, where's one piece that I did that I ended up adding circles. Sometimes I do the add circles business. Like this. Oops, shiny. There we are. I just add circles and stuff. Oh, I have to say, Karen, I know a number of people with fibro who use this and swear by it. It um, is incredibly good for pain management. I am not an art teacher. Oh my goodness, John. No, I am not an art teacher. I never have been an art teacher. I just, I just enjoy. And you know what? It was my son who said, you know what? You need to stream this because it's just, you can just have people enjoy. And it's all about if you're enjoying it, then they'll see that and then they can join you or not. But, people need this kind of chill vibe. The world's too crazy. The world's too crazy. And I figure I'm going to do this anyways, so I might as well do it with other people. Why not? So you see how I'm not stressing about where the lines are and everything. Did you, Karen? You know what, Karen? You need to just calm the train down. Then you make really big ones or just circles. But if you just do, even if you did this but only had three of them and you rounded the corners, would not be frustrating. You just can't dive into the deep end. If you dive into the deep end and try to do something too detailed, my very first one, it was just I don't know. It was different. It's different than anything I do now, but that was my very first one. And you have to progress and do it to the point that it feels good. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It needs to feel good. Yes. And if it doesn't feel good, you know what, Karen? Don't do it. It's like when you go to the dinner party and somebody finds out there's a doctor in the party and everybody goes up to him and says, Doctor, it hurts when I do this with my arm. And you know what the doctor says? Don't do it. There's a simple answer. Don't do that. So if it doesn't feel good, then don't do it. But there's probably something that will help because it is the same brain avenue. So whether it's like abstracts, like I did with this background, just throw a bunch of color, just a bunch of color. That's all it is. Or doing the little doodles where you just make a mess. I mean, you have to be awfully brave to just sit there and draw doodle lines and not worry about it. And look at how often do you sit there and look at somebody's doodle like that and say, oh my goodness, I wish I could do that. How did they get the lines so sloppy, but it looks good? So you find something that feels good to you, Karen. There we go. And we just go around, and the only thing I'm focused on is rounding those hard edges. And it doesn't matter how uh, thick your lines end up. A lot of mine end up really thick, or sometimes I don't know, maybe I'm in a state of mind where I just really need to focus hard on this task. So I end up having a lot of shapes. And it's like that one that Karen saw turned into those rocks. And because I added the shadowing, and all of a sudden it looks like pebbles everywhere. And I really like geographic abstracts. I don't know what that's about, but I am like all about that. That just makes me feel happy. I enjoy that a lot. And I can see, some people will do each corner. I just sit there and make the shape round, and then I just fill in, and it just feels satisfying to me. So whatever floats your boat, whatever floats your boat. But that's how I do it. And if I'm feeling really adventurous, sometimes if I really need to focus, Thicker must be better, right? Yeah, John. Sometimes I'll actually use a dip pen for this because if I really need to focus, I'll use a dip pen and with proper ink, and that's an adventure. You really have to not let anything else distract you when you use a dip pen. Otherwise, you're just going to make a mess. So if I'm tired, no, sleepy Lisa cannot do that because ink will get everywhere and it will be sad. So sleepy Lisa will just, accidentally jerk her pen, and we don't do that. If I'm sleepy but stressed, I will do this and I will just use my markers, and that's cool too. I think I might end up putting leaves on this. Look at that. See, that's coming along. I enjoy that. I know you meant thicker. I know. I filled in the blanks, John. There we go. Okay, so yeah, we're just going. See, and look at how nice this is starting to look. Yes, I enjoy using my dip pens. I even tried glass pens. You want to play a trick on your brain, use a glass pen. That is just wild. That's wild. So I've used the glass pen as well, but I find that the glass pen sticks on the watercolor a little bit more. Um, the dip pens, they do really quite well over top of watercolor, so that's not so bad. So I think I've never done one of these actually. Katie inspired me. I've never done one of these just on the size of card I would be giving away. So this is kind of cool. There we go. Focus, focus. There we go. There we go. If you're wondering, John, what Karen and I and Katie are on about with my weird hand, it is because I had a stroke 5 years ago and it affected the right side of my hand body. Yeah, no problem. So I'm still continuing to work to be able to control this side. I did some, like this is part of one with the circle. It had a big ginormous circle on it. Um, and see, this was part of it too. I've got it zoomed in so hard. I know, right? It's just kind of I don't know what it is about watching the art. Sometimes the watching of it is just as calming as the doing of it. I'm not sure why. I'm not a doctor or scientist, but it is apparently a thing. And that's part of what my son had suggested was that, sometimes it is, especially with art, just as much in the watching as it is in the doing. Yes, that's what I'm doing, John. Ha ha ha. See? I didn't want to get all geeked out and everything, but yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it. That's what I'm doing. And for the first 6 months, I sat there and I crocheted granny squares. And when you think about it, that was before I'd ever heard about neurographic art. Um, Granny squares, the way they are just a bunch of rounded shapes, and you do this repeating pattern, and it is very rhythmic and it's very good for your brain. And I did that with a ginormous um, crochet hook as part of my physiotherapy for the first 6 months. And it worked really well. And so I've got like 5 blankets hanging around my house. 'Cause what are you going to do, right? So I'm not gonna donate them or throw them out or anything, so we just hang them on the back of our recliners, and it's a nice reminder. So let's see. So now I want to make sure that I've really got them rounded. I don't want to cheap out on the rounding. See what a difference that makes when you actually zoom in and be willing to make the line thicker and rounder. It's just a thing. It's a thing. I don't understand. I'm just going with it. And if for some reason for me, if the line is too thin, it seems unstable. Not sure why, but that's what it is. So I'll go and I'll thicken up these lines. So satisfying. I tell you what. So satisfying. Yes, I know it's right. I thought you did, Karen. Yeah. So I just did these. I think they must have been 3 inch by 3 inch granny squares. And I got the beautiful. I went to uh my Michael's craft store and I got it on. I got spools of the really heavyweight um yarn. It was just so. I don't know what that word is. It's just so snuggly. Most of my descriptors, adjectives, are sound effects. So, oh, look what I did. Yeah, most of my or my descriptor words are sound effects, so it's all good. You guys know what I'm talking about. There, there. See, no mistakes. Bob Ross, no mistakes in art. Oh, see, these seem really thin and unstable now, so we're just gonna. There we go. There we go. I know. I see a lot of people are saying, I used to do that as a kid. And now people are finally embracing it and doing it as adults. And they're finding it's incredibly helpful for their mental health. So when they're feeling freaking out or they're feeling nervous about something, if you doodle, you would really benefit from doing this kind of stuff. And so even just on a plain piece of paper, I will do that. Um, yeah, I need to really round this one. There we go. I'll just grab a piece of paper and instead of just doodling, because I do a lot of like chicken scratch, I'll start doing some of this stuff and just go for it. Okay, so do we have any other thin little lines? Yeah, we got this little thin little line. Let's just chunkify it. Chunkify it. There we go. Chunkify. There's your word of the day, chunkify. Okay. So let's have a look. We'll zoom out and see what we're doing. Okay, so now these things are kind of standing out more on their own. So sometimes what I like to do is I'll see one where the color goes in half and let's just break that in half. And then let's break this one in half. And then say it together, class. We need to round the corners. Right? All of a sudden, it looks like it belongs there. It's just the weirdest thing. Yes, well, mostly recovered in that I function fine. I sometimes get my brain freeze and I can't think of words. You'll hear that. Or this hand doesn't like to participate sometimes. So I have to really make sure I'm always practicing. I have to make sure I'm always talking so that I can find my words when I need to. And so that's part of the reason why this is such a good thing. I have to talk and I have to do my hands. I'm so cutting corners. Janet Nash. Oh my goodness. Look at you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you, lovely, lovely lady? So here's my other one. It's got two different colors, so I'm going to separate them. How are you doing, lovely? I am so thrilled to see you. We're doing some neurographic art. We have painted some rocks. We're not quite done yet, but we're working on it. And what else did we do, guys? Oh, we did this flowers. We did the flower doodle. Doodle flowers. Doodle flowers. So now we did this background, and so I'm putting the neurographic art on it. And we're learning about the fact how good neurographic art is for your brain, how it calms you down. We all need to be calm, don't we, Janet? Yes, indeed, we do. So this is some of the logic behind what I'm doing. Oh, and see, let's just divide these up a little bit more. I don't know if you've ever done neurographic art, Janet. Oh my gosh, your junk journals and everything are so inspiring, I tell you what. That is something I have a hard time doing. I can't put the pieces together. It just my brain doesn't work that way anymore, and I just love watching you do it. It seems so effortless and just it is so therapeutic. I tell you what. It really is. I enjoy it a lot. Thank you. So all of a sudden, it seems like it's supposed to be there. We're not seeing the background on its own anymore for some reason. I'm not sure how that works, but it's a thing. We're just rolling with it, right? So I'm thinking, let's just chop this one. And what are we doing? We're rounding the corners because we don't want jagged corners because that doesn't feel good in our brains. Like that. Janet is therapy. I tell you what. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love it. It just brings a smile on my face. It really, really does. That is my Monday morning. I enjoy that a lot. I get my coffee, I sit down, and it's just lovely. Oh, and did you hear my brain focusing? John, did you hear it? I did. My brain was like, whoa, that's a trip. There we go. That's a trip. Okay, there we go. All right, let's just make sure we're nice and rounded. I feel like we need to be extra rounded today. Extra, extra rounded. There we go. And I think I have one more separation I want to make for sure. And actually, I'm going to take this brown out of this green. Ooh, how brave is that, eh? Let's just put marker right across that and say we're happy with it because we are. That's not too round, so we need it more round. Do you see how more stable it's feeling the more we round these things? It feels calmer, right? We all need a bit of calm. There we go. I know, Janet, right? I know you did, John. There we go. Okay. Do we have any more? I don't think. I think we've gotten all the corners, guys. I think all the corners are good. We don't have any more jaggy corners, I don't think. Right? Okay. Okay, so the other, oh wait, we have to, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I could do this. So the cows come home. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're good? We're good. We're good. There we go. Now, what I'd like to do is we're going to take our little pencil and where, if you saw my art desk right now, I'll give you a little showy show, Karen or Janet, of what we've been making for these kind of neurographic art. It's just so fun. That's what I need to do, right? I need to get, these have plastic, I'm sorry, but this is what we need to do. Let's get our number 2, and we're gonna add a little bit of dimension here. Come on now, we can do it. And we're gonna now see the corners. They're not round. We have to round the corners. Look at that. Oh, thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. This is just me being all fartsy. And I'm really zoomed in. I'm sorry because the cards are tiny. They're the little tiny art cards. So I'm very, very zoomed in. Zoom, zoom. Okay. Now, what am I looking for again? John, what am I looking for? And why, oh, why did you take it? Oh, there it is. Oops. See? Okay. There it is. Okay, John, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, John. I needed my smudger. I need my little smudger. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm so glad you were able to catch me live too, Janet. That is awesome. So here's what I'm gonna do. I need these to pop out a little bit because I do actually think they would be nice little rocks, don't you? Hey, Chat. These are lovely little pebbles, right? Be one with the pebbles. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is see the pen or the paint all over my hands. Oh my goodness. So you see the pencil, right? We're gonna just turn that into a shadow. Right? I know, right? No, right? Okay, so we got our pencil, and now we're just gonna do the smushy smush, right? That's a technical term, everybody. Smushy smush. Okay, so here's where the good part comes in. You sit there and do the shadow, but you have to go back and make it really dark at where the two come in because it's not just a sad little shadow. It has to have a little bit of dimension, right? So we don't just have sad little shadows, right? So and then you still have to smushy smush so that it comes together, right? Smushy smush. So if we see this, you can all of a sudden see how this pebble now stands out from this pebble. I love me some rocks. I love rocks, Karen. I think that's what we're discovering is that rocks are my jam. I think so. I think so. Okay, so we got to do this one. So I'm going to sit there and do the pencil bit, and then I'll do all the smushy smush at the same time, right? And then I'm going to add these little cracks. The sad little shadow ends up having a happy little highlight. That's what it has, John. Happy little highlight. You really have to channel your inner Bob Ross. And everything has to be happy and sad and have emotions, right? So we're going to sit there and do this. And that's what I did. The shadowing is what I did for the Zentangle too, right? The Zentangle, let me take it out of the plastic. Okay, so this Zentangle is just these, they're called wonky Huggins. The key to them is the shadow in here. These are all wonky and they're sloppy and everything. But once you put the shadow in, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, bye, Janet. Thank you so much. Have a cup of tea on me. Thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's get our happy shadows. Our sad little shadows are not going to be sad because they're going to have depth. They're going to have character, right? There we go. And then we're going to do the smushy smush, right? And then I can go back over them and really make a darker line. So it's in between the black and the shadow, and then it will look better. And I have a trick. If you get too much shadow, if you have a little kneading eraser, one of these little guys, right? Knead, you can put it on top. Let's see where, let's just do it on here, right? And you literally tap on it and it'll take some of it off, right? And then it's not so hard. Exactly, John. They like to be awesome. Depth, people. We need to be deep, right? Let's be deep. We need all the deep people with all the deep thoughts, right? So yeah, if you get one of the kneading erasers, then you don't have to be so careful with your shadowing. And I mean, come on now, just do it, right? And I have quite a bit on my little stubby thing. You can use Q-tip for this or anything. It's just like rolled up paper. That's all it is. Kneading. Like when you knead bread, right? And so this kind of eraser, what happens is you just it's soft and pliable. So it's Knead, knead, not needy. We don't have anything needy here, John, right? And then it pulls up the pencil marks, and then you just knead it into the eraser. That's all. We're not needy. Not needy. We're very we're good. We're good. So then what's going to happen here, let's see if we can do this guy here, and let's get him sorted because he needs his shadow, and then we're going to put highlight, and we got to decide where the sun's coming from, right? So let's do this. Okay, so we got a bit of shadow. I like that shadow. Too bad. Dog's losing his nut. He's freaking out. Oh, somebody's at the door. I might have to go and answer. Okay, give me 2 seconds, guys and dolls. I'm back. I'm back. FedEx, man. That was FedEx. Okay, here's my Stumpy. Here's my pen. Here's my Smushy. And we got to smush, people. Let's smush. My dog did not like that. Well, no, I'm just obsessive. That's my OCD kicking in, guys and dolls. That's all. I used to watch Twitch all the time, and I got to know some of the streamers, and I saw some of the stuff they did, and I'm gonna be honest, I helped design some of their little fancy overlays and stuff like this. And so I knew what I'd like to have, and I would help them. And so I thought, okay. And I said, I'm gonna do that, but I'm not gonna be crazy about it. I'm just gonna put something together that I think is nice. So yeah, I have done it before for other people, but I have uh not for me to do art or anything like that. Smushy smush. Technical words, John. Technical words, right? And then, you know what? Here, so I'll show you where the happy highlights come in. The smushy smush, the sad shadows, and the happy highlights. So we'll just do it like a 5 thin ones. I know. Oh, bone, good. You're learning new words. Good, excellent. Okay, so let's decide. Okay, so this our rock of our pictures, or a rock of our pictures, right? Our picture of our rocks has a sun, so let's pretend it's going down here. So let's put a little highlight, a happy highlight. So what happens is the sun kisses that rock. So happy. These rocks are so happy. Smushy smush. All the smush. Okay, so oops, get back here. Okay. Oh, Lisa, everybody says you're a professional, and you're sitting here going, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Okay, so let's see here. Let's do the zoomy zoom, right? So we put the little highlight right there, because our rock picture says that the sun is coming here. So we need this to hit the highlights, right? So anywhere that we want that to happen, that's what we're gonna do. And I always really enjoy putting cracks in the rock. So if I put a crack and see how this has some really neato texture. Neato. That's what the kids say today. Right? So we gotta make sure that the corners are not hard. No hard edges. No hard corners. See? Look at it. Look at that. Ah. And then where should we should put another crackety crack. Oh, look at this is nice. I enjoy this. Let's do this. Let's do it right there and around the corners, because it always looks more happy and stable like that. And then what we'll do, because we remember our rock picture tells us where the highlights go. And so we're just going to do this a little bit here. And I'm actually going to kiss some highlights here and here. And where else? Right here. Why not? Right there. All of a sudden, our little rocky rocks are starting to poke out. So this one has a little bit too much highlights, and I need this crackety crack to show up better. There we go. Okay, Karen. Bye. Thanks for popping by. I appreciate that. How we doing for time there, guys? Okay, yes, I have to go too. Look at that. You distracted me all so much. Okay, so I'm going to finish this off stream, of course, in front of my TV. But then what I'm going to do is I'll put it up on the Instagrams, as the kids say today. Let's do a little highlighting. I got to get some lunch, guys. What time is it? It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, it's probably really late for you guys. Okay. Means time. Mush it all together. Okay, so The other thing I'm going to have to do, I'm going to leave this background. I'm going to leave this background for next stream. Oh, look at the blues. It's so, look at the blues. I'm going to enjoy that. We're going to do this next stream, I think. And so this is coming along. Did you think it was going to start looking like this? I certainly didn't. And then, of course, our Rockety Rocks. And I'm going to finish this guy up too. I would love to. I think I'm going to put silhouette uh, leaves or whatnot. And look at, yes, look at how stable that looks, John. I like that a lot better. Okay. And then, of course, we have these guys, right? Look at what we did today. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm going to go and do some adulting too, Katie. That's the thing. Stability is a great thing. Okay, guys and dolls, you know what? I'm going to head out. I need to eat something. And this has been a really long stream, but I had so much fun and I got lots done. And now I get to go and watch a little bit of the Olympics and whatnot. And I'm going to go and chill out. Look at that. Look at how different all these are. Loving this. Loving this. Okay, guys and dolls, I am out of here. You guys have an awesome day. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, John and Katie and Karen and Bones and Janet and all the people. Thank you so much, guys. I will catch you on the flip side, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.